Alright, what's up YouTube? This is Dom the Movie Guy here to give you info on the latest movie buzz. Today's video will be covering the Oscars, the big category that's coming up soon, specifically the Best Picture category, and what I think will be nominated. Since I either haven't seen most of these movies, as well as a few of them not even being in theaters yet, I'll only be doing a brief summary of each and be limiting myself on the spoilers. Mind you, I will not be covering any winners, just what I think is going to be nominated. Today's will be on Best Picture, and the upcoming ones will be on the other categories of the Big Six. So here we go. So my first pick is Boyhood, Richard Linklater's newest project. This movie I actually did see, and what I will say is that in terms of plot, not a lot really happened, but in terms of how the film was made and the fact that it was made over 14 years and you couldn't even tell, not to mention the fact that it showed this kid's life growing up, that to me was astounding and really well done. So that's getting a lot of buzz. Next pick is The Birdman with Michael Keaton, which it's kind of funny because it kind of references it's almost like a reference back to Keaton's days playing Batman, but also it really is a case for Keaton to show off his acting career. Starring Michael Keaton, obviously. It's got a great supporting cast too: Edward Norton, Zach Galifianakis, Andrea Riseborough, Naomi Watts, and Emma Stone, who I heard were all fantastic in it. Basically, Keaton is a washed-up actor who played a really big superhero back in the day called the Birdman. Now he's trying to get his life back on track. Heard this one is good, getting a lot of good buzz, a lot of good reviews. Next on the list is Foxcatcher. This one is another entry on the list of director Bennett Miller, who received a lot of Oscar buzz for his last two projects, Capote and Moneyball. This movie basically is based on the true story of Olympic gold medal winner wrestler Mark Schultz, played by Channing Tatum, and how he is trained by his paranoid schizophrenic millionaire coach Jean Dupont, played by a prosthetic nose wearing Steve Carell, who looks absolutely terrifying in this movie. Is probably his first serious role that he's ever done. Not to mention his relationship with his brother Dave Schultz, who previously overshadows him for having won a gold medal. I forgot for what exactly, but who's played by Mark Ruffalo, I might add. So basically, it's about their relationship, and from what it looks like, a very creepy movie. What makes it even more terrifying is that it happened in real life. This one looks very good. Carell's getting a lot of buzz for it, and Tatum's getting a lot of buzz for it. But yeah, this one could be a good pick. Next on the list is Gone Girl, the latest entry by another big director, David Fincher, known for films Seven, Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and Fight Club, and The Social Network. Based off the book by Gillian Flynn, stars Ben Affleck, good cast, Ben Affleck, Rosamund Pike, Tyler Perry, Neil Patrick Harris. Basically, Ben Affleck plays a man, I forgot his name, whose wife goes missing, and after setting up searches for her, people begin to believe that he actually was responsible for kidnapping her. I heard that it's a pretty spot-on adaptation of the book. You know, the people who I talked to who have read it said that it's pretty good. So that's getting a lot of buzz. Next on the list is Inherent Vice. That is the latest entry by yet another excellent, phenomenal director, Paul Thomas Anderson. Other entries on his list include Punch Drunk Love, There Will Be Blood, Magnolia, Boogie Nights, and The Master. Another one based off the book, Thomas Pynchon. This film will star Joaquin Phoenix as a private detective who investigates a murder, as well as a phenomenal ensemble cast, which includes Reese Witherspoon, Josh Brolin, Martin Short, Owen Wilson, and Benicio del Toro. Next on the list is yet another excellent entry by an excellent director, Interstellar, Christopher Nolan's new movie. This one I also saw in theaters, I might add, and let me just say, I was mind blown by how incredible it was. This was probably one of the best movies I've seen all year. The visuals were amazing. I thought it was a great movie. It got a lot of negative reviews though, which kind of makes me sad because compared to some of Nolan's other works, I mean, Nolan hasn't made a bad film per se, but compared to some of his other works, it was really good. So Interstellar, that's next. After that, we have The Imitation Game, starring a huge star made mostly famous by the internet because he's really only had one big role. The Imitation Game, starring Benedict Cumberbatch, mostly known as Sherlock on the BBC TV series Sherlock Holmes, and also known for playing two big roles in recent pop culture in blockbusters, known for portraying the rebooted Khan Noonien Singh in J.J. Abrams' reboot Star Trek Into Darkness, as well as providing the voice and motion capture performance for Smaug in, sorry if I mispronounced that wrong, Smaug in the Hobbit movies. Cumberbatch is set to play real-life British codebreaker Alan Turing, who during World War II was responsible for cracking codes that were secret codes that were sent between that were infiltrated by the British from the Nazis, and was later brought to court over his allegations of being gay. So that looks like a good one. Cumberbatch is getting a lot of buzz for it. Next on the list, because I'm not making this too big a list because Best Picture usually gets a lot of picks, but next on the list is Unbroken. This one is going to be the directorial debut of a very popular Hollywood star, Angelina Jolie's directorial debut, and basically what the movie's about is it's the real life story of Olympic track runner Louis Zamperini, whose plane was shot down in the Pacific and spent the next couple of years in a Japanese internment camp. The film will be dedicated to the memory of the real Zamperini, who sadly died a few months before the filming completed, and the film will come out in Christmas. And wrapping up the list, last movie on the list is Whiplash, starring Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons. Miles Teller, who has recently been in a couple big blockbusters. He was in 21 and Over and Divergent. Stars as a kid, forgot his name, who gets accepted into a very prestigious orchestral school, and J.K. Simmons, who's mostly been known up until this point for character work, seems to be stepping out of that limelight now, plays his super abusive orchestral conductor who ends up super abusing him. The movie's getting a lot of buzz. J.K. Simmons is getting a lot of buzz for really, really giving a truly excellent performance. And that about wraps up the list. So those are my predictions for this coming year's Best Picture nominees. Let me know what you think. Please subscribe and comment. I enjoy the criticism. I want to hear other people's suggestions, and that's all. Signing off. Have a good night.